Hey guys, Czar here. Hope all is well. Trust you're having a good day. It's 2 minutes to 1 p.m. coming out of the twilight zone. I always like to watch the 1 o'clock candle because interesting things can happen at 1 o'clock. Let's look at the three sisters. I sent this to my group to show that we were tapping VWAP on all three from the bottom side or the underside at the same time, essentially a few minutes off from each other. But that's always interesting when we see that. These are now in perfectly synchronized alignment, acting with synchronicity. And so this is good to see as well in terms of consensus of the marketplace. In other words, people are either buying or selling or spectating U.S. stocks right across the board, tech, big cap, industrials, you name it. And that can be useful information. I'll be cutting out dead air, editing out sideways grinding action, non-teaching moments, things like that to keep this video nice and tight. But looking for a potential setup here in the afternoon. Nothing yet. Had a nice 2-hour winner. Buying the break here on NASDAQ. Taking this thing high. Here's the S&P. Had a very similar reaction there. And here's the Dow. Similar, but didn't have the same kind of structure, and so I've been ignoring the Dow for a change here today. Normally, Dow is one of my primary trading vehicles, but not today. It's too messy, and you can even see the sloppiness here on the 1 minute chart. All right, guys, put you on pause, and we'll come back. All right, guys, we're back watching the 1 minute chart now. Now that we have a new 1 o'clock candle. We're about 4.5 minutes in. Breaking structure here on the 1 minute. That's the NASDAQ. Let's take a look at the S&P. Breaking structure as well on the 1 minute. Let's take a look at the Dow. Threatening to break structure, potentially, but very wicky. Not loving that on the Dow today, guys. And S&P. And the NASDAQ. Back to the S&P. Equal highs. Same on the NASDAQ. It's just thinking here, guys. Just thinking. This is not an order. Sell stop, guys. Sell stop. This is an order now. And I'm in, guys. In right there. Short the NASDAQ. Trend continuation with a zone reversal feel with a newly formed potential zone. And here's what I mean by that. When we come out of the twilight zone, I often bracket the twilight zone, meaning placing a zone marker right about there. And then if this breaks that prior candle low, it becomes a zone reversal. But this is, for me, a trend continuation. It's about impulse, corrective up towards the 21, rounding over and breaking structure in the lower time frame to drive down. Potentially. No guarantees, that's for sure. This is a very strong rally all the way up here. But you'll notice this is the first time that we broke and closed below the 2 EMAs. You see that there? First time right there. But this entire piece. And then had a little blip, kind of a little rally, failed to reach a new high so far, and then break down below. Very simple structure. It's not as big and grandiose as I would like it to be. I would have preferred if it looked something like this. And then down, higher here. But we may not get that given that we are now in the 1 o'clock candle where fuel typically comes back into this market. Sometimes very aggressively. So I'll put you on pause, guys, and set up my markers here. We'll come back and talk about this trade in more detail. Pause now. And target 1 has been hit. So the 1 hour all or nothing trader has left the game with full profitability, and the 2 hour move stop to break even at 1 hour has moved their stop to break even because we hit 1 hour. So they will either get a 2 hour or a 0 break even and nothing in between. The 1.5 hour and 2 hour all or nothing traders, of course, are sitting here to wait and see what happens. As we are now in the afternoon, it's 1:27. We're 27 minutes into what I call the after session, after the twilight zone, and we're getting some follow through here. As I mentioned, guys, this is a trend continuation trade with a zone reversal feel to it. And what I mean by that is this. Let me bring out the 30-minute chart so you can see this very clearly. This is a downtrend, right? So it's an impulse down, a very strong impulse, in fact, that began during the European session here at 8 a.m. this morning. This is kind of where this really started to break, and then down, and then, of course, the big sell-off during the New York session. And then a zone reversal happened here. I took that one for 2R. Pull back. You can even look at, let's take a look at the Fibonacci's here. I don't use the indicator anymore. I can just kind of see these in my mind's eye. Yeah, I pull right back to the 618. And then, this is my alarm saying it's 1:30 almost. Fibonacci back to the 618, and then resumption down after the twilight zone. This happened during the twilight zone, part of it, and then the rounding. We go to the lower time frame. What do we see? Well, we see for the first time, as I mentioned earlier here on the 1-minute chart, this rally was all above both EMAs, the 9 and the 21, with no close below the 21. All of a sudden, after the twilight zone is over, right here, this is the 1 o'clock candle right here. As is typical, fuel comes into the market, and we close below. We have a little pullback, a little blip, failed to reach a new high, and sold it right here. Went sideways for quite a few minutes, and then eventually began to break down. I don't know if we're going to make it all the way down. Who knows? We'll see. If this is in fact trend continuation, yes, it should be no trouble at all. In fact, we may even hit a new low again for the day, way down here. We'll see. In favor of this trade too, of course, is the bearish daily. Now, this is a bullish overall, bigger picture, of course, for swing or position trading. This is a bearish daily candle. Why? Well, it's blue body, right? Or red body for you, potentially. It is a break below 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days, breaking 12 trading days lows, and staying down here below the break point. And this, of course, is below the break point as well, where I entered, anticipating that we would break below the prior candle low on the 30-minute chart, which is my typical zone reversal. So this is a trend continuation down with the zone reversal attributes. A newly formed zone, of course, right? This is not a zone that was, from yesterday or 2 weeks ago or anything like that. This is happening intra-day. And that's why I'm not just calling it a zone reversal. It's a trend continuation. Put you back on pause. I'll bring you back. And target 2 has been hit, guys. And so the 1.5 hour all or nothing traders left the game with full profitability. And now it's just the 2 hour all or nothing trader waiting to see what happens. Let's see if we can drive down here. Looks like we're getting a bit more juice here at 2:03 p.m. And as we see it pick up between 2 and 4, let's see if we can make this happen. And we did it, guys. Took a little bit of time. This is a 2-minute chart now, but all 4 models were fully profitable. It's the second trade of the day. 4R today, 2R winners, which is nice on a Monday in particular. But very, very simple stuff, as you can see here, guys. And the long trade was on breaking the high of this prior candle. Short trade was that structure that I showed you here on the 1-minute chart. I won't go over it again, but it's basically one trade on the way up, another one on the way down. This is a trend continuation, impulse, corrective, impulse down. We'll see if we can go all the way to the bottom here. But this trade is done for the model. Appreciate you being here and your support. Thanks for clicking the like button and for saying hi in the comments. Have an amazing night. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.